Hey folks, how's it going? I was checking out some of Sam, also known as Flat Earth Reconnaissance, a couple of his videos, and he seemed to put up this video here that I noticed. It said something about finding evidence of dark matter or dark something behind the stars. So let's check it out and see what kind of derp he's going to spew this time. Should be interesting.
Physics and logic on a level supreme. It's a curved reality, splitting flerf dreams.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below and tell me what you think. Let's get going.
Okay, just a little music. Okay, guys, so let's get to the chase. And I wanted to share with you what we saw a few days ago. So I was, trying to get lucky, trying to have clear pictures of the stars, and there was too much humidity, or I don't know what the reason was, but I couldn't, just focus on the stars. However, I got out of focus pictures of 3 stars that I call John Doe, because those stars are not visible to the naked eye.
Sam, the fact that your stars are out of focus has nothing to do with the humidity in the air, the atmosphere. It has to do with the fact that your methodology is absolute garbage, and you're using subpar optics and using your cell phone and with not having a fucking clue what you're doing. So it's nothing to do with the humidity. I've just recently I did Jupiter. I had about 95% humidity, but I actually know how to focus my equipment properly, and you can see that all my observations were pretty crystal clear. So maybe you just learn how to use your shit instead of blaming it on the atmosphere. You'd actually get some results.
Those are stars that only you can only catch by a very big magnification. I had about 400 times magnification at a time.
Dude, did you say you're getting 400 times magnification with freaking binoculars that are like 80 by 40? You do realize that 40 is 40 times magnification, you fucking stupid ass freaking dick. I mean, 400 times, you're not getting 400 times out of those binoculars. Not a freaking hope in hell. Not happening, buddy. My telescope is freaking twice the size of yours, and its max usable magnification is 307 times. And that's only if I have absolutely perfect seeing. So there's no way in God's green earth you're getting 400 times magnification out of binoculars only have 40 times magnification. That's a freaking laugh. That's so hilarious. Like, I mean, come on. Freaking, you're so deluded. Fucking, you don't even know what your equipment is or is even capable of doing. That's just so sad. Typical Flerf derp.
So we have those out of focus, stars, lights glowing like this and going around.
Well, Sam, at least you admit that your friggin' your star is completely out of focus, and that going news and going around is just simply fact of the atmosphere is always moving. It's never quite steady. It's never staying the same. You have winds, you have different currents, air currents and stuff, and so especially at high magnification, you're going to have that flickering and fluttering around and stuff like that. And especially if your shit's out of focus as well, you're going to see even more. Which you've just admitted that you can't even focus your equipment on correctly. So you've just proved my point that I've said several videos back. Thanks for that, buddy.
And by reviewing the footage, we realized something very important. I'm going to show you that in a minute. We realized, in fact, that behind the stars, okay, we knew that there was a structure already. We knew that there was some kind of a texture, okay, solid or liquid or something, but not space, not air, that's for sure.
No, that's not a lie, Sam. You don't know that for a fact. You believe it and you have a just cognitive bias towards it and a cult ideology that you're just trying to push it and thinking that it's true. You don't know it. You just simply have blind faith that it's there because you want it to be there. That's all you have.
So now we have another information that actually behind the stars, in that texture, you have dots of lights that look like, apparently like stars that, that are very far away. But I don't know if they are stars or what they are, but the very funny thing about these dots there is that they do not move. So my first reaction was to say, okay, I'll have to clean my loop there. I have some dust. There is something. But after analyzing the footage, we realized that, it has nothing to do with like, dirty loop. And that actually it's very faint, but we see them, many, many, many dots, of light that are glowing and that actually are getting very, very bright when the star goes over them.
That 100% sounds like it's dirt or dust that's on his optics in his loop, on lens or on his camera. There's something going on there, and if it's doing that, if it's not moving, then it's definitely something other. You got maybe some digital noise going on, or if you got stuff that's staying illuminated, not moving or moving around a bit, then you probably do actually have dirt. What did you use to clean your optics with? Please don't tell me you use something like a bit of tissue or toilet roll or something like that. You need to use proper like dust-free cloths and make sure that it's all done. And even then, you not get it all. And if you have a little bit of a mark on your lens, your camera, especially when you're zooming in a lot, then it's still going to be there. It's being illuminated because as the light is entering in and being focused in, some of it's being reflected back a bit, and it's going to illuminate those little dust particles, and they're going to look like little white specks and stuff in your in your footage. Now, if you do stuff like flats and stuff like dark flats, you can actually compensate for that because you can, when you have the cover on, you can see where the stuff that's been coming up, and then you can work that out with using some processing software. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't use any astrophotography processing software or any kind of processing whatsoever. You simply just run it through your media software on your computer, and then just hit the zoom and go slide all the way up and think that you're actually zooming in on stuff. That's probably all you're really doing, and that's why you're garbage. And also the fact that you're using subpar optics and using a really crap methodology to try to even take these observations in the first place.
And what's even more amazing is that out of these three stars, different stars, the first one has a double reflection. That means that you have the star and you have like two reflection of that star that go along with it. So,
gee, Sam, that sounds like some of the light that's going in being reflected off your lenses in your optics. Probably that's what it is. You're seeing reflections that are going on inside your binoculars. People have been telling you this for months, but you just refuse to listen.
Of course, we checked. Those are not like different stars. It is the reflection of that star because it behaves exactly like that star in the exact same time. Like when it's glowing here, it's glowing there, and then it goes and it's. So this is two reflections you're going to see in a minute. And what's more than amazing is that even when the reflection goes above that one of the dots that I took just to show you, you see that the dot is like, getting brighter, which means that from the light provided by the star, that is projected, down or behind. So that dot there is getting brighter, whatever it is.
Really sounds like dust and dirt that's on your lens, on your camera's lens, or your binoculars. In fact, that sounds exactly what it's like. As I said, you get an internal reflections in your binoculars, and it's and then a little bit of the those dust particles and dirt and stuff is being illuminated as well from the reflections inside your binoculars. Good job, Sam. You just falsified everything about the show.
So, of course, it cannot be an anomaly or any kind of aberration from the phone. It cannot be stars because they do not move unless there are stars that don't move. I don't know. I never heard of it. But anyways,
That is right, Sam. You don't know. You don't know anything from any of the stuff you're doing. You're taking stuff from Mikey Smith, who knows absolutely jack shit about astrophotography, and then you're just making up your own derp and shit on top of it. But, as you've admitted, you don't know, and neither does Mikey. So, just keep proving me right that you have no idea what you're doing.
and it's very close because the reflection of the star, is making that thing, shine. So,
Yep, I'd say that's about right. The internal reflections inside your binoculars from that star, the light going in, is causing that dust and dirt to be illuminated slightly and shine. Yep, pretty much that's exactly what it is. Now you're going to claim something else, but you've already just admitted it. Good job, proving me right once again.
so now I'm gonna show you, this whole thing so you understand. Here it is. So I'm gonna play that and see. I hope that you'll be able to see it correctly. You see, this is the star.
Damn, Sam, you weren't joking when you said that it was completely out of focus. And you can see a lot of digital noise in that, as well as, well, we can see all the dirt and all the dust and stuff that's on your optics in your chain there. So, yeah, you've already admitted that's what it is. So, thanks, buddy, for, proving us all right, the ones that keep saying that you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. All you're doing is just pretty much just verifying everything I've been saying for months on end.
Okay. Going around. This is the same footage, like being slowed down. And here, in case you don't see it very good on the screen, I circled some of the stars that are the most obvious, but there are like thousands of them.
Princess, those aren't stars. You already admitted they're not stars. You say you don't know what they are, but I do. And pretty much anybody else who's done any kind of photography is pretty certain what that is. And that is just simply a bit of grunge and dirt on your optics. You think you cleaned it, but you didn't, Princess. Sorry. Thanks for playing.
Okay. Just to show you there are many stars. So this is the same star going slowly. I'm going to stop that and welcome.
Also, you can see that there's a lot of fringing going on there. A bit of chromatic aberration. That's where you can see the different colors going from on this optics. As well as you can see that there is definitely some internal reflections from probably his binoculars reflecting off of his cell phone and eyepiece and stuff from inside of his optics there. Which is now causing we have those other ones inside. Which is now you have other light bouncing around inside there. And it's just making that even worse. So, yeah, like I said, subpar optics and pretty much just rubbish methodology, having not a fucking clue nor wanting to learn how to do this correctly.
Our guest of honor, Mikey Smith.
Oh, look, Sam's bringing in his fladdy. So, his little flatty daddy. The one who's taught him everything he knows about how to not do astrophotography, but to pretend and derp like he does. So this should be interesting and always funny. You know, Mikey Smith and Sam together, and it's just a derpathon of just astronomical magnitude. Always fun.
Is joining now. Here is. I hope it shows on the on the thing there. All right, here we are. Mikey, how are you? I hope we see on the screen there because I think I fixed it, but we never know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Can you see me on the screen with you?
But I don't think I'm on the screen. But I just want to say that I don't think those circle dots are stars. I think those are those holes.
No. Yeah.
Oh dear, this Sam's flatty seemed to disagree with his assertion of what he thinks these are. I do agree with Mikey. They're not stars. But I also do disagree with Mikey. there's certainly not holes or anything else that's in some sort of magical structure that they can prove actually exists, except for in their imaginations, as diluted and fanciful as they are, with their cult ideologies just reinforcing all of their delusions. But let's go on.
Exactly. That's why I'm going progressively. Also, there's no such thing as stars that don't move, but it looks like it at first, but then we're gonna see that what it does. So
Yeah.
check it out. So this is like slow motion. That star with its two reflections,
Yeah. Yeah.
nice and easy. And now we're gonna come back, and I'm gonna show you.
Especially the one right in the middle.
Yeah, I took like one dot, so to show you, the reaction. Okay.
That is very clearly dirt and stuff on his optics there, so that's not a question there. And even everything he shows just completely reinforces what I have to say. As for the little bits there in the back, that's simply just a bit of digital noise and stuff coming through. See, Mikey and Sam don't know anything about doing flats and dark flats, in which you can you create a master flat by putting the cover over top of his maybe have the cover on his binoculars, and then take a whole bunch of flats, and then you put it behind, and then you tell the software, you do astrophotography software, like, here's your master flats, so that way you can take out and knows what's digital noise or dirt and stuff in your optics, and what's actually being observed, and then you can actually be able to process that out and get accurate representations of what you're looking at. But I even mentioned this to Sam, and he just nodded the whole thing because he's just an idiot and doesn't want to fucking admit that he doesn't know what he's doing. But yeah, as you can see, because he had getting reflections, internal reflections from his binoculars, it's actually lighting that up as that's going across, and those light waves and stuff going through, and it's hitting, and you're seeing what it's just illuminating that, what it's just reflecting, and that's just kind of causing some of the light to bounce off a little bit as it enters into his camera and into his binoculars and stuff. So that's all that is, and then the rest of it is just, like I said, it's just poor quality optics and equipment that he's using. So, like I've been saying for months and months, but these two just refuse to listen.
Okay, so now you see that we have a dot here. That's that dot, that what looks like stars, but for now, but we're gonna see what we think it is later on. Wait a second. So, and you're gonna see that when the star goes over it, it gets brighter. You see. It gets brighter. You're gonna see, I'm gonna make it come over like a couple of times so you can see it. And here it is. You see, up. That's a dot. Which means one thing, first of all, it's close. It cannot be far away.
Oh yeah, Sam, it's close. It's close to your camera, and it's close to your freaking telescope on your binoculars, considering it's fucking sitting on top of them, because it's on your lens and on your optical train there. Also notice why those are really kind of seem to be in focus, but yet your stars are not in focus. It's because you're focused on the fucking lenses, you absolute bell end. This has been told to you by several times. Sean Hawkins in particular, I know he's mentioned this to you several times, but you both decided to fucking ignore everything he said, even though I'm pretty sure Sean Hawkins actually has experience doing photography, as well as like Astronomy Live, Reg Redrick, myself. We've all fucking mentioned this shit to you, and yet you just choose to ignore things that people actually have experience doing. I'm far less experienced than any of them, but even I know what's going on here. So perhaps you need to start fucking listening and stop pretending that you know everything.
And it's something that can absorb or reflect the light of the star that goes over it. So it is hard to know exactly what it is, but
no, it's not, you fucking bellend. It's fucking dirt and dust and shit on your freaking optics. That's all it is. Newsflash, clean your shit.
Our first conclusion is that it's a part of that texture there. It's possible, and it makes, for now, the most sense that those are like holes in that texture there that are actually like showing something, like some kind of some light, some light that is being amplified when the star goes over it. That's the only thing I can come up with so far, because besides that, we cannot understand what it is. Again, it looks like stars, when we look at it, but since they don't move, it cannot be stars. So I'm gonna make you see that again, and this is a very hard evidence that there is a structure behind the stars. There is a texture. There is no space. Again, those stars are not like balls of gas. Now,
All right, that was a whole lot of derp coming out of there, but fuck, does it make everything he's saying make any sense whatsoever, or even form a cognitive freaking like thought of rationality? No, not a bit. Everything he said there was nothing but freaking word salad, derpy bullshit, supported by his cognitive bias and his delusional ideologies to want to pretend it is something so you can support his freaking cult beliefs. That's fucking it. Everything he said there was bullshit. Do we know what it is? Yeah, it's probably it's either you got digital noise in the background there that's causing different things. You have a star that's out of focus. You have he's actually focused on the dirt and the muck that's on his lens or on his camera itself. And that's all that is. I know what it is, and I've only just watched his fucking video. It's not that hard. It's pretty clear, pretty evident what we're looking at there. Unfortunately, Sam and Mikey are both too freaking stupid and far too freaking top left on the Dunning-Kruger scale to understand a single thing that they're fucking looking at.
this is a number 2 star, the John Doe number 2, and you see I circled here a pattern, the 4 stars that we see before. So I'm going to go back a little bit before. You see, here we go. Wait a second. Okay, you see that pattern there, that big oval circle there.
Oh, you mean that those three there that you have circled, the dust and dirt that's on your lens? Yeah, you see that. It's just like the other shit you were looking at before. You got quite a bit on there. You probably should clean it.
This is exactly what we see in that second footage, with that second star. So that means the star is like going next to it also, you see? But it's not in the same path, but it's the same area. But this time, you realize that star has no reflection.
Yeah, I've also noticed you're not getting the internal reflections as bad on your from your binoculars, as you don't have the two other little like reflections and shadows, other bits that are on the side there. So you've obviously moved something. You've probably changed maybe your phone's at a different angle on there. You've moved something, but so it's not internally reflecting as much onto that dirt and the dust that's on your optics there. That's pretty much it. And then obviously because that's off the side, not directly above it, then it's not, that light isn't directly going through, interacting and reflecting off that dust. That's all that is. Not that hard.
So the first one has like 2 reflections, and this one has no reflection.
I did notice though, you're getting still quite a bit of fringing there and a bit of chromatic aberration. That's why you're seeing all the different colors on there. As well as that star is overexposed, like the other one. It's all just overexposed because you don't know how to use your optics and you don't know how to set your exposure levels. Because, well, Sam, you're a fucking idiot, just like Mikey, and neither one of you actually know how to use your equipment whatsoever.
Okay, we just like observing. We still are observing, and you see those dots there are glowing. Actually, this is a number 3 star, John Doe number 3. Still no reflection, and you have those dots there that are like glowing. All over the place. And of course, you can see it again, that when the star goes over them, it gets brighter, it gets shinier. So,
yeah, because you let digital noise, dirt on your sensors, and then when you have the light that's going right over top of those, is this reflecting a little bit of light off the dirt and stuff like that, and so you're getting it when it's kind of shining a little bit. That's it. Not freaking rocket science. I know it's really hard for you, Sam, and for Mikey to understand these fucking very basics. This is shit I was dealing with when I was freaking 8 years old and I went and bought myself my very first SLR camera. So maybe you need to learn a little bit, at least listen to some people who have actually done some shit in their life instead of just sitting on there and pretending like the two of yous.
That's a short footage. very intense one because it proves it's a hard evidence that there is something behind the stars, and that now it's not just like something that looks like a texture, but it we see that it's clearly there's clearly something behind, and that is close. That's what's important, close to the star, for the star to be able to reflect itself onto that dot there. It cannot be like million years light years away or whatever. It is ridiculous.
That's not evidence of anything that you just said, Sam. The only thing that's evidence of is the fact that you are a complete fucking moron and have no idea what you're talking about or what you're doing. Pretty much evidence of everything I've already said and I've already proven in my previous videos, where I actually was able to replicate yours and Mikey's observations using a kid's toy telescope and holding my phone at a really weird, wonky angles. And that was about it. But yeah, it has no. And as for the fact that it's like the stars not being gassed and stuff like that, we know for 100%. We have astrophysics, we have astronomy, we have all the different sciences in which we've been able to measure these things using spectroscopy, using James Webb Telescope, which has different different ways of being able to measure different light spectrums and stuff, as well as like using Hubble and other and even ground-based telescopes. We've been able to measure this and measure the light coming through, and we know from different laboratory experiments and stuff what different elements make different light and different light spectrum, and as well as also in infrared and ultraviolet. So we know exactly what they are. But that's about it. So this thought I show you this. The fact that Mikey and Sam think that they're proving something, and all they're really proving is the fact that they have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and they're just making shit up and just running around pretending. But they're showing really garbage, poor optics. They're showing have really poor methodology that they've been told many times to try to correct, but they refuse to take any expert advice or any advice from anybody whatsoever. So that's about it. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the like button, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know, what do you think? What do you think of Mikey's and Sam's observations? What do you think Sam has said in this? Tell me down below. Do you think I'm right? Am I wrong? I'm always willing to learn if anybody knows better. But remember, people, Earth's definitely a globe. Space is real, but don't forget, stay curious, and I'll see you again. Thanks for watching.